He grabbed her scarf in his jaws and vanished into the frozen woods. But why would a wild wolf steal something so human? No one knew the answer until years later, when she returned. It all began in a small mountain village called Grey Hollow, where winters came early and stayed too long. The villagers had grown used to seeing wolves on the edge of the forest. Most kept their distance, but there was one wolf that everyone knew, a gray male with a scar running down his left eye and golden eyes that glowed even in the dark. They called him Ghost. Ghost was different. He never hunted livestock, never attacked. He simply watched from the tree line. Silent, alert, untouchable. Among the villagers was a girl named Mara, 17 at the time, known for her quiet voice and a scarf her mother had knitted. A bright red scarf that stood out against the snow like a splash of fire. Mara wasn't like the others. While the villagers feared the wolves, she had always been curious. After her mother passed away, she often wandered near the forest's edge, humming softly to herself, lost in her own world. That's when Ghost first appeared. One evening, as snowflakes spun like silver dust, Mara sat by the edge of the woods. Her scarf fluttered in the wind. She didn't notice the wolf until she felt eyes watching her. When she turned, there he was. Ghost. Her heart raced, but she didn't run. She simply sat still, scarf trailing in the wind. For several weeks, it became a silent ritual. Mara would visit the same spot, sometimes bringing bread from the bakery where she worked. She'd tear small pieces and toss them toward the wolf. He never came close enough to eat, but he always watched. Then came the night that changed everything. A blizzard had swept through Grey Hollow. Mara, carrying a loaf of bread under her arm, wrapped her red scarf tightly and made her way to the forest edge. Everyone had warned her not to go out, but she went anyway. When she reached the clearing, the snow was knee-deep. The wind howled like lost voices. And still, Ghost was there, standing tall against the storm. Mara smiled softly and pulled the bread from her bag. Just as she was about to tear off a piece, a sharp gust of wind yanked her scarf loose from around her neck. The red scarf flew through the air, landing in the snow between her and the wolf. Before Mara could move, Ghost stepped forward for the first time ever. He didn't touch the bread. Instead, he lowered his head, grabbed the scarf between his teeth, and with one silent look back at Mara, he ran. She called after him, her voice lost in the storm. Wait. Why? But he was gone. The scarf wasn't just cloth to Mara. It was the last thing her mother had ever made for her. She searched for hours that night, calling his name as if he would answer. But Ghost never came back. The villagers shook their heads. It's just a wild animal, they said. You shouldn't have fed him anyway. Heartbroken, Mara left Grey Hollow soon after. Life pulled her elsewhere. University, work, cities with no wolves. But the memory never left her. The image of Ghost running into the storm with her scarf haunted her dreams. Years passed. 10 winters. Then one autumn, when the wind began to carry the scent of snow again, Mara returned. Her hair was longer, her face older, but her eyes still carried that quiet sadness. The village hadn't changed much. The same stone houses. The same forest. And though no one spoke of Ghost anymore, Mara wondered. Was he still there? One evening, she found herself walking toward the forest, her boots crunching softly on frost-kissed grass. There was no bread this time, no scarf. Just herself and the memory. As she reached the clearing, the sun was sinking. And that's when she saw him. A gray figure, scar over his eye, standing just where she had left him all those years ago. Ghost. But something was different now. His fur was streaked with white. He moved slower. Yet in his golden eyes, there was recognition. Mara felt tears sting her eyes. Ghost, she whispered. Slowly, she stepped forward, hands open and empty. Ghost didn't move. But he didn't run either. Then, from behind him, something caught the fading light. Draped over a low-hanging branch, not far from where he stood, was a scrap of faded red fabric. Her scarf. Tattered by wind and weather, but still there. For 10 years, Ghost had kept it. A shiver ran through Mara, not from cold, but from something deeper. Something warm. She knelt in the snow, eyes locked with his. And for the first time, Ghost stepped closer. Closer. Until his nose touched her outstretched hand. No growl. No fear. Just a silent, shared understanding. The villagers would later say they saw Mara and the old wolf walking side by side along the tree line at sunset that night. No leash. No rope. Just two old souls, reunited after a decade. Mara stayed in Grey Hollow after that. She didn't go back to the city. And every evening, she would walk by the forest, singing softly. Ghost would be there, sometimes near, sometimes just a silhouette against the snow. Until one morning, after the first real snowfall of the season, Ghost didn't appear. Mara searched, heart heavy, until she found him. Lying peacefully beneath the old pine tree where they had first met, her faded scarf still beside him. His eyes were closed. His story had ended. But the scarf remained. Mara picked it up gently, tied it around her neck once more, and walked home. Because some bonds don't end with time, or distance, or even death. They simply wait. Like a wolf waiting for a girl's song. If this story touched your heart, please don't forget to like the video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to our channel for more emotional animal rescue stories. Your support helps us bring you more inspiring content every second day. Thanks for watching our channel, goodbye and take care.